notification. Let me pull it up too. Got a lot on my phone. Hi, everybody. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the City Council regular meeting for December 8th, 2025. Call to order at 6:02. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Yes, ma'am. Mayor Sauter,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Messick. Present. Councilmember Don Dixon. Present. Councilmember Powell. Here. Councilmember Miller. Councilmember Lester. Yep. Councilmember Alfred Dixon.
Present.
Let the record reflect that Councilmember Miller is running late, but however, we do have a quorum.
Thank you. Next on the agenda. Oh, I'll do today's invocation. As we gather for what I hope is the final council meeting of the year, I'm reminded of what makes Jonesboro truly special. It isn't simply our history or our location, it's the people we choose to serve every day and to invest our time and our talent with, as well as our heart into the community. It's each of you that sit in this audience, each of you that live in the homes in our seats, and each of our council members that believe in the promise of our city. This year we faced many challenges, and some we faced together in unison, others not so much. But however, on this last day, this last council member of the year, I like to celebrate our progress that was made. I like to celebrate all the triumphs, all the giveaways, all the community activities, and how we shared in this responsibility of shaping a future that eventually reflect the values that we all hold. Whether seen or unseen, our work can help strengthen the foundation of Jonesboro, one decision, one conversation, and one act of service at a time. As we near the end of closing our year, I would hope that all of us, all council members, all staff, and all residents can take pride in what was achieved and what will be achieved in the coming year. We look forward with great expectation. A new year brings new opportunities to grow, to listen, to lead boldly, and to build on the momentum we've created. So I would encourage all of us to continue working together, to find ways to work in unison, to be patient, and to renew our commitment to doing what is right for the people we serve. My hope is that we'll walk into this coming year encouraged, renewed, and ready to keep moving Jonesboro forward. Together, we can continue shaping a community where every voice matters and every resident feels at home. Again, I thank everyone in this room for your dedication, your cooperation, and your unwavering belief in the future of our great city. Thank you. At this time, we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Council, we have an agenda before us. Madam Clerk, was there any changes? Okay. Council?
Mayor?
Yes.
Yes, Mayor. I would like to add a discussion of the investigation so we can go over the recent emails that have been received from
Okay.
Attorney Freitas.
Isn't that already on here for old business? It should have been.
I don't think it is.
Is it okay to add that for item D under old business?
Yes, ma'am.
Since it was already discussed a little bit last week.
Please speak into the mic and repeat what you're wanting to add. I didn't.
A discussion of the investigation concerning the recent information received from Attorney Freitas.
Okay.
And that would be item D under old business.
Yes, Mayor. And one other thing,
Mhm.
if we can add a presentation from our DDA chair concerning information that they were presented on at their meeting Thursday.
So I don't, if that is from their investigation, that's still in the process of being perhaps litigated. So I wouldn't advise that we add a presentation on tonight for an interim report.
So it's, I didn't know there was litigation involving the,
It will be. And their
Okay,
attorney has been notified.
let's just add a discussion then.
Okay. So we will add that to new business item C.
New business.
We have A and B, so I just added as C.
Okay, I see. sorry, thank you.
Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Council, we have two additions. Item D, under old business discussion, continuation of discussion from Freitas investigation. I'll reference it that way. Is that okay?
That sounds good.
Okay. And then new business, a discussion, not a presentation, of the DDA interim report. All right, any other changes, council?
Yes, Mayor, just, maybe this is on the consent agenda. I know last week we discussed the Luminary Media Works, contract. Just
Say it
wanted
one
to,
more time.
I know last week we discussed the renewal of the contract between Luminary Media Works.
Correct.
I wanted to make sure that the services did include the meetings for the Jonesboro Youth City Government. Not sure if a new contract was drafted or not.
I'm not sure, so let's pull item D off of consent agenda and move it to item E on old business. So item D from the consent agenda will be moved to item E. I'm not sure if I didn't receive one, so,
Okay.
all right. Do you have that, Madam Clerk?
Item E under old business?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda with said changes. Oh, one other change. The mayor has one presentation
Okay.
or announcement, I guess would be better. I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda with said changes.
I make a
Mayor.
motion to accept the presentation with stated changes.
Agenda with said changes.
I'm sorry,
That's fine.
the agenda with stated changes.
In the microphone, I'm
Me of
gonna
all
keep
people,
keep
yes.
reminding you
I
all.
make a motion for us to accept the agenda with the stated changes.
Second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Well, I just have one special, it's not a presentation, but announcement. Always get excited when someone furthers their education, and you probably can guess who's sitting up here now. So I wanted to just, if you all would kind of help me give a round of applause to Councilman Dixon that graduated. No, stand up. Councilman Dixon is a true testament of what perseverance is. He received his bachelor's less than a year ago and rolled straight into his master's. So I am extremely proud of you, as well as your community and all those that look up to you. Thank you again. You have any words from the graduate?
Really, thank you so much. I really couldn't have done this without the village. A lot of my council members on here played a huge part in helping me get to this point. So just thank you all for everything. You know, couldn't have done it without y'all. So thank you.
I wanted to start off the council meeting with that because I think that's very, very important. I didn't want anybody else to leave without hearing that acknowledgement. At this time, we have some proclamations, and then that'll be followed by a presentation. And Chi-Chi, I don't want to mess up your name, so can I say Chi-Chi? Okay, all right. I get to present this to actually my colleague, Chi-Chi. They actually hosted a business networking day event last month, and she brought up a proclamation dated, when was it dated? 2017, and I said, no, we can do better than that. We can present one to you for your continued service in regard to business and networking. So it is my pleasure to present to Simply Networking in honor of Business Networking Day in the city of Jonesboro. Whereas the business networking is a business activity by which business people and entrepreneurs meet to form business relationships and to recognize, create, and act upon business opportunities, share information, and seek professional partners for ventures. And whereas research has shown that business networking can greatly impact the resource sharing, development, growth, and sustainability, innovation, human capital, and social capital of companies, organizations, and communities. And whereas business networking can also be a fundamental part for improving industry growth and connectivity for economic development within cities, states, countries, and can also be seen as a development tool for communication skills, technical skills, career and academic advancement. And whereas our nation's business plays a critical role in generating economic prosperity, and the effort poured into them by ordinary citizens across our country reflects the hard work and determination inherent to all who we are as people. This week, we renew our support for the engines of growth and recognize his incredible contribution to our country. Now, therefore, I, Dr. Danielle Sarter, Mayor of the City of Jonesboro, Georgia, and our City Council do hereby recognize the service to our community and join in the nation in celebrating Business Networking Day. In witness hereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Jonesboro to be affixed this 8th day of December, 2025.
Oh, sure. Well, this is such a blessing, and very thankful for all the support from Mayor Sarter as well as the community. It's very exciting to get 2 proclamations, as well as Mayor Sarter being a fellow Emory alumna, as well as the first African-American female mayor. So it means so much to me, and thank you for all your support. And I'll continue to promote and celebrate Business Networking Day any way that I can, but thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you. Thank you.
Next, we have a presentation by Seville Public Entity of City of Jonesboro, 2026-27, insurance.
Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. My name's Carson Seville. I'm with Seville Public Entity, and I'm here with our broker partner, Kevin Webb of GAMSG. And we've been busy the past 12 months since we've been here. So we have some good news to go over with you. Can everybody see the packet?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, as you all know, we've got an accident review committee we have with staff, and it's been a fantastic committee. Staff has worked very hard at this over the years. The good news is the past couple meetings we've had, we have not had any claims to talk about. So,
Shout out to the police department, as well as our
And
public work
police and
departments
public
and all the
works.
employees for not falling down steps around here. Thank you.
so instead of not meeting, we pivoted and we started talking about potential exposures for the city and where we might have liability, where we might see a claim in the future. And so what that looks like is having these meetings and talking about things like certificates of insurance. I actually spoke to one of the contractors out here in the City Hall this afternoon before I got here, and just what that certificate looks like when staff receives it, and is there a contract in place? And every vendor we have, can we take that certificate of insurance and transfer the liability to that vendor? So we've had some great meetings. We've looked at a lot of certificates. We've switched up a few of them just because the wording wasn't exactly how we wanted it, to make sure that there was without a doubt no liability on the city should that vendor flood City Hall, get hurt, do damage to someone else's property. So that was a big part of our meetings. We also went through all the property, auto, and equipment schedules in a lot of detail. Spent a lot of time with Public Works and the chief on this to make sure that we're only covering the autos we own. We're forecasting the ones we're going to be getting rid of and any new ones coming on the fleet. And the updated proposal reflects all those changes. So if you'll switch to the next tab, you'll see the loss history. Now, when we first started with the city about 3 or 4 years ago, we were seeing around a 200 to 300% loss history, or loss ratio, excuse me. So as you can see, this has been trending down in the past 2 years now. We're sitting at 10 and 11%. And this is for your property and casualty that you're looking at here. So what we're doing is working. I attribute that to everyone up here and staff and everybody at the city. They've really worked hard, and the losses show it. So we're becoming very attractive to a lot of carriers in the marketplace. The next tab, I've switched this one up because the workers' comp losses are in the same format as the property casualty. So I want to show the workers' comp premiums over the years. And you can see this has gone from in 22, 90,000 down to 40,000. And that is 100% from the lack of claims that are going on. And that's again, these department heads that having the discussions with employees, talking about our PPE, and just thinking before we have a claim, taking the extra minute to put gloves on, put protective wear on. So we're looking at a $10,000 decrease this year on the workers' comp. So lastly, we'll jump to this premium summary, and I know this is a lot to take in, and I'm happy to answer any questions on this summary, but you'll see at the bottom, we're coming in with an overall decrease of $43,499. If many of you remember last year, we were looking at quite an increase, and we had the claims history to back it up, but we've had the conversations with the carriers. They're happy with the exposure, they're happy with the losses, and that's why we're seeing this decrease, and I expect it to continue like that from a premium standpoint over the years, as long as we can keep up this claims history we've got. So I'm happy to answer any questions on this. I know this is a lot of data in front of you, but we try to make it as clear as possible. The light brown columns are last year, the bluish purple columns are this year's, and really nothing's changed. The premium's gone down, deductibles have remained the same. We do plan on getting these deductibles lowered on the professional liability. We've got a couple claims standing out right now from years past that we need to close out. So I'm happy to answer any questions. If anybody's got any.
Again, I do want to take a minute to just kind of emphasize how the time was utilized when we didn't have meetings and how much we appreciate that. And we think that those meetings and those suggestions have manifested itself and definitely continued loss of incidences compared. There was a graph that he showed that shows a tremendous decrease in loss. So again, I applaud our staff, department heads for making sure that we put those necessary things in place, as well as even HR for the additional trainings that we've added to ADP to make sure that we undergo and that are required by staff that hadn't been required prior. Council, do you have any questions? We appreciate you all. We appreciate the great service that we receive from you all.
Thank you,
And
Mayor.
we'll pay that bill shortly. Thank you. This time, public comments. Thank you so much. The mayor and council will now hear public comments. Citizens will be given 3 minutes maximum time to speak before the mayor and council. Comments must be limited to matters on the agenda or over matters which the governing body has jurisdiction. Speakers must maintain decorous demeanor and refrain from personal attacks from the mayor of council. Please state your name and address. Speak clearly into the microphone for us for the record. Chelsea Kearney.
Chelsea Kearney, 1210 Grove Park Lane. Congratulations, Councilman Dixon, on your degree. I'm very happy for you. Greetings and most humble salutations, Mayor and City Council. I'm here to discuss and make public comment on the investigation for the ordinance that was signed on 22 October 2025. So, as a taxpaying citizen, which is the capacity that I'm here talking to you all in for public comment, I would like to say that some of you on City Council are willfully committing fraud, waste, and abuse. Fraud for being intentionally deceptive for your own political gain. Waste for intending to be so careless with this spending, leading to unnecessary costs and inefficient practices. And abuse due to your improper use of the funding provided for this investigation, going directly against the scope and the timeline identified, making it contrary to the rules laid out and established and agreed to by you all on City Council. Moving forward with this investigation, there's already there's already people going against the violation of the scope. So the settlement that Clayton County ruled on, which would lead to another lawsuit that us taxpayers would have to eventually, of course, pay for. And due to the past investigations that you all have already brought forward, there's been copious amounts of money spent towards witch hunts, for lack of better words. Some of you would rather go to the Superior Court than to pause to review what's going on and fix the mistakes that are currently happening. I have no idea why you would want to do such a thing. I don't think it's very responsible for personnel that are on City Council to act in such a way. The excuse last week was due to not having the facts, meaning the emails that Attorney Dreyer sent and CC'd the mayor on to the attorney that is heading up the investigation. And when asked to go into a recess to provide that information to you all, you refused. You voted against it, and that shows me that you really don't care about the facts. You really don't care about getting down to the investigation. And you've already shown that you want the attorney to go against the current scope. You want him or her to go against the established timeline. And if this continues, of course, you all know that, like I said, it will lead to a lawsuit. In this matter, you all have been the architects of your own misfortunes for so long, and your personal decisions are impacting our citizens and our
10
tax
seconds.
dollars. Thank you. And some of you want to continue using our money to pay him to do, or her, to do the wrong thing. Now, there's an election
that's
coming.
time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Elena Mercedes. Hi.
Hello, hi everyone. I'm Elena Mercedes Hall, address 109 North Avenue, apartment 218, Hartside, Jonesboro 30236. I'm just going to yield back and yield my time to Chelsea Curry.
Can we yield time?
think so.
Not that I know
No.
of. We're not the, like a parliamentary body where, I think
Okay.
it would, I don't.
Yeah, we can't, I don't think we can yield time.
Yeah.
Do you want to make comment? Or-
Well, I just want to have more understanding of why we're continuing with an investigation. To my knowledge, has already been settled. So I
think
wanna
if you hang around,
understand
we'll do we'll do an explanation. Thank you. At this time, I'll consider public comment closed. We have no public hearing. Is that correct?
Correct.
We have no public hearing? Oh, okay. Well, I'm not making any. All right. Yeah, that's why I was like, wait a minute. I looked at this before and I didn't see that Madam Clerk?
Approval of the minutes, letter A. Council to consider approval of the special call council meeting amended minutes dated October 17, 2025. This item was tabled from November 10, 2025, regular council meeting.
Council, is there a motion to approve first set of minutes for special call meeting on 10/17 or any additions or modifications needed to?
Mary,
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the 10/17 special called meeting.
Second that motion.
Any discussion, council? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you so much.
Letter B, council to consider approval of the special call council meeting amended minutes dated October 22nd, 2025. This item was tabled from November 10th, 2025, regular council meeting.
Council, is there a motion to approve the minutes for special call meeting, amended meetings dated 10/22/2025?
Mayor, I make that motion to approve.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Item C, council to consider approval of the work session minutes dated November 3rd, 2025.
Council, is there a motion to approve work session minutes dated 11/3/2025?
Motion to approve, Mayor.
Second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you so much, council. Last set of minutes, is it last set?
November 10th, 2025, regular council meeting minutes.
Council, is there a motion to approve our last regular council meeting minutes dated 11/10/2025?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you so very much. At this time, we'll move to our consent agenda. We took off item D. I'll entertain a motion to accept our consent agenda with all remaining items.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve to accept the consent agenda.
There's a motion on the floor.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you so much.
Old business, letter A, council to discuss replacement of the digital signage at Lee Street Park.
I mean, we kept that on there hoping to, is Mr. Tran here? Because we may have to roll that over to the first of the year, because I don't think we got I needed him to get 2 more contracts. Did he submit 2 more additional ones to you, clerk?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Can we move that to old business in 2026?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Letter B, council to discuss bid award and contract for landscape maintenance services for Lee Street Park and the Jonesboro City Center.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
During our October 6th work session, Council requested that an RFP be issued for the landscape maintenance for Lee Street Park and the Jonesboro City Center. The RFP was issued on October the 22nd and closed out on November the 20th. We did receive 2 bids, one for Worldscapes LLC in the amount of $59,005.46. Second bidder was Scopes Landscape in the amount of $48,000. At this time, staff recommends Scopes Landscape as the low responsible bidder.
Thank you so very much. Council, any questions? Is there a motion to accept the contract from Scopes?
Motion to accept.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you,
Marcus, for
Council.
working on that.
Item C, council to discuss 2026 housing commitments, Housing Leadership Academy at ARC, Atlanta Regional Commission.
I discussed this last week. I think all of you all have a copy of the 2026 housing commitments. As a member of the Housing Leadership Authority Academy with the Atlanta Regional Commission, we were tasked as a completion of the program to come up with some housing commitments. We don't have to codify these, but they just wanted a statement and any feedback from council as this will be shared in the ARC's housing commitment publication. The first one is up under preserve affordable housing supply by addressing blight. We'll do this by revising existing code to include updated state ordinances related to blighted properties, of which we've already received the initial training on that and we'll be moving forward. And also explore additional home repairs from DCA, similar to what we did with our CDBG funding. The second area would be to allow and incentivize innovative housing types. We could do this by expediting our permitting and considering waiving fees for affordable housing. Also consider repurposing buildings that are existing and may not be zoned for housing into affordable housing. Lastly, is to support local leaders through regional programs similar to Housing Leadership Academy. I would ask that one council member apply for the 2026 Housing Leadership Academy. Also designate one staff member to focus on housing, whether or not we would consider a stipend or add it to our economic development position, and encourage all elected officials to attend at least 2 ARC Housing Task Force meetings per year, and all of those meetings are via Zoom. Council, any questions in regard to the housing commitments that I submit before you, or anything that you're adamantly against or would like to add?
Mayor, when is the application due for?
As soon as they send it to us, I'll forward it out to you.
Okay.
It's usually it's usually sent out the first of the year.
Okay.
Any additional ones? Great. All right, so no vote is required, it's just to be read into the record, and you have a copy of that. I'm sorry.
Item D,
Okay.
discussion regarding new information received from Attorney Freitas as it relates to the investigation.
All right, council, so last week we left off with not halting the investigation. Subsequently, we received an email from Attorney Freitas halting the investigation on its own. I'll read into this is client privilege? I forgot to ask if we could waive that.
Great question, Mayor.
Well, so anyway, he stopped it and provided reasons on December 5th why he had temporarily paused his investigation. I'd like to read my statement into the record, and then we can move forward with any further discussion. All right, so good evening, council members and residents of the city of Jonesboro. Tonight, I want to speak directly to our citizens and our taxpayers of the city, because you deserve, as well as I, both clarity and honesty about what has taken place over the last several weeks. On October 22nd, the council passed an ordinance authorizing an administrative investigation. The ordinance is very clear. It authorizes an investigation only into financial transactions occurring from, to, and between the City of Jonesboro and the Downtown Development Authority, and only for the fiscal year 2025, beginning January 1st and ending October 20th. This is the entire scope of what the council actually passed. Despite the limited and defined scope, the engagement letter that was drafted by Hall Booth Smith and perhaps Mayor Pro Tem attempted to create a much broader, open-ended investigation into matters never authorized by law. For over a week, that discrepancy was raised, questioned, and brought to the council's attention. Yet the council refused repeatedly, actually 3 separate times on record, to pause the investigation, review the request, and realign it with the law that they themselves passed. And I want to add, an ordinance is a law. It reached a point where, in order to protect the taxpayers and ensure compliance with the law, I was forced, in my official capacity as mayor, to prepare a temporary restraining order. A TRO should never have had to be necessary. Had the council simply followed the ordinance or even paused to reconcile the scope as I requested, the additional legal expense and effort would not have been required. It was not the council. It was not the council who halted the unauthorized investigation. It was the investigator himself. In his email today, Hall, Booth, and Smith openly acknowledged that the engagement letter they drafted does not match the ordinance, and that they cannot legally continue with the broader investigation unless the ordinance is changed. That admission confirms what has been evident from the start. The city cannot and should not pay for an investigation that exceeds what was legally authorized. And this brings us to a second critical point for taxpayers. While the council pushed forward with an investigation outside the law, the Downtown Development Authority was already in the process of completing its own interim investigative report. The report covers basically the same period, January to fall of 2025, and the same subject matter the ordinance identifies, the financial transactions related to the DDA during 2025. The DDA investigator interviewed witnesses, reviewed documents, and issued a written report. Those findings have been provided in the form of an interim report. The factual questions the ordinance sought to review have, perhaps, simply already been answered. So for the citizens of the city, the investigation the council authorized to some degree has already been done by a proper governing body. There is nothing left for a second city-funded investigation to accomplish. Finally, I want to address an issue that is important for transparency, and that's my legal fees. I did not initiate this investigation. I did not expand its scope. I did not create the conflict between the ordinance and the engagement letter. Yet, I have been required to retain legal counsel and respond to actions taken outside the law. Georgia law is clear that when an elected official must obtain counsel to defend themselves in the performance of their official duties, and when the actions prompting that defense were not initiated by the official, the city may lawfully cover those expenses. I'll be submitting my legal costs to the city consistent with the legal authority, and the public will have full visibility into that process. Tonight, I am asking, once again, that council to protect the taxpayers of Jonesboro by following the law, honoring the limits of the ordinance that was actually passed, and refraining from spending additional public funds on matters already investigated or somewhat resolved. I remain committed to transparency, fiscal responsibility, and the lawful use of taxpayers' dollars, and I welcome an investigation conducted within the legal scope authorized by the council. Despite the efforts and spending of more than $100,000 of taxpayers' dollars to find wrongdoings by me, Mayor Pro Tem Messick, and outgoing Councilman Don Dixon, Billy Powell, and Bobby Lester have been extremely unsuccessful. The reason why is simple. There is none. I'm looking forward to a future where the Council of Jonesboro can focus on the business of the city and not the undoing of its mayor. Thank you, and we'll include that into the record. Council, I'll entertain a motion
Mayor,
to permanently halt the investigation by Phil Freitas. There's no motion? Okay. Just want the,
Hasn't it already been halted by
Mayor, I'd
today?
like to continue
no, but
discussion.
he halted it. We didn't halt it. So he halted it, which he really doesn't have halted it. But then he could say, I want to start doing it again. and there's nothing available.
Mayor,
Yes,
I would like to continue discussion concerning this.
Microphone.
I'm sorry. As the attorney did reach out to the council and to yourself and let us know that there needed to be corrections, either the ordinance needs to be modified or the letter of engagement needs to be modified because there are discrepancies in the two. So what I would like to propose tonight is that we allow Mr. Dryer to reach out to Mr. Freitas and modify the letter of, the engagement letter so that it matches the ordinance that the council passed. Therefore, it will be narrowing the scope of what he is looking into to what the council intended for that to be looked into. And for clarity, Mayor, when reaching out for an engagement letter or asking a firm to engage, they caution you to be very vague with what you share as you are a potential witness. So in reaching out to this firm, they got information that we were in need of an attorney to do an investigation, and they followed up with a letter of engagement. They're very thorough and very cautious in making sure that no one overshares, as everyone's a potential witness. So at the time of the engagement letter being released, that was the information that was contained in there, I believe was of a broader scope because of the limited amount of information they had at the time. I would like, and I would love to hear from other council members as well. I would like to see the letter of engagement modified and see if Mr. Dryer can contact Mr. Freitas, or if he would like one of us to do that, so that everything is back in alignment to move forward.
to some points that you mentioned, and I don't have with me, but I will ask you all to halt. The letter that you engaged, the letter that you initially sent represented the entire body before a vote was made, and I can provide that for you. Attorney Dryer, do you have that letter that that Mayor Pro Tem sent to the attorney before the council member meeting, before the vote, purporting to represent the city of Jonesboro? So let's read that letter and talk about how inappropriate that letter is. So he built his engagement letter built on the letter that you sent him prior to any vote taking place. All right, and also let me just say this. The ordinance says looking into financial practices. It's all financial. Would you agree? The ordinance says the financial transactions between the city.
Mayor, it says administrative investigation.
No, but what does the ordinance say? Looking into.
The ordinance says administrative investigation.
No, let's read the ordinance. Let's take a second. Y'all have the ordinance? Y'all been
I
sending it
don't have a
around.
copy of it.
Okay,
with
hold
me.
on a second. Let me read it to you.
It's attached to the minutes of October 22nd in the
Is
packet.
it in? Okay, thank you.
It says, this investigation shall conduct an administrative investigation into all financial transactions occurring from, to, and between the City of Jonesboro and the City of Jonesboro Downtown Development Authority for fiscal year 2025. So the administrative investigation is to financials. Am I correct?
That would include financials.
No,
administrative.
it can't do, no, administrative is the type of investigation. What are they investigating? Financial transactions. Would we agree? Would we agree?
I would agree.
Okay. When your roof is leaking, do you call a plumber over there to check it? So why would you ask an attorney to look at finances? Why wouldn't you ask a CPA? They're looking at finances. They're not looking at practices. They're not looking at legality. They're going to go in and do a financial audit. I'll give you another one. If my power is out, I'm not calling the plumber. So if y'all want to look at finances, call a CPA, not an attorney that has no background for auditing financing. This is clearly a finance audit. It says it. Into all financial transactions. So you asking an attorney to do financial work when you got a CPA already doing it. I'm just saying, make it make sense. You can't. And you all should, at this point, be pretty much embarrassed by what y'all are doing. I would be silent too. Tell me why you are asking an attorney to do what a CPA firm or a forensic audit could do. And we already have a forensic audit. So why we just don't attach this to it? Because you want to use your friends that you are in cahoots with to try one
Mayor,
last
that's
dish.
inappropriate.
You are not acknowledged. You're not acknowledged.
That's very inappropriate.
Oh, I'm going to accuse you. The record accuses you. The record accuses you. Entertaining an attorney for financial matters because of previous relationships with the attorney, that accuses yourself.
I have no previous, for the record, I have no previous relationship.
Yeah, let's get that on the record, please. It's on the record now.
With this person that is conducting
Your friend
this
Don, Councilman Dixon
investigation.
didn't say nothing.
Well, one thing that I would.
You not acknowledged yet.
Okay, you never want to.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mayor, what I was wanting to have a discussion about tonight was reducing the amount that this investigation, narrowing the scope to fit to the ordinance.
I know, and I just said the ordinance is for financial transactions, and I argue that an attorney is not fit or qualified to do a financial analysis. That's why you have financial audit firms. Now, if they were looking at procedural things, if they were looking at, any other legal matters, but this ordinance says nothing else but all financial transactions occurring from, to, and between the city of Jonesboro, Georgia, and the city of Jonesboro Downtown Authority for the fiscal year. That is strictly a financial audit. Whatever they bring back would merit nothing because they're not qualified as a firm. And I don't understand why you just asked for an RFP for landscaping. We didn't solicit for attorneys to come do landscaping. We solicited landscaping companies. So if you want to look at financial transactions, solicit an entity that specializes in that. And that would allow us to have integrity and also accuracy. What's so hard about that? Y'all want an attorney to look at finances? Does he have, I looked at his thing. Nobody has a CPA. Nobody has any accounting background. None of them. You want to pull it up? We can pull it up. Google it yourself. Hall, Booth, and Smith attorney. What they do have is a lawsuit against them for over $1 million for not representing somebody well in the murder case. They do have that. Y'all can Google that. They do have that. And it's okay, y'all. Let me just tell y'all, this is the last meeting of the year, hopefully. It's okay to be wrong. Let's just get it right. If you all are so concerned about transactions between the DDA and the city of Jonesboro, of which have already been explained and everybody else seems to understand it but y'all, then let's do it. But let's do it with a firm that can give the citizens an accurate and informed investigation. Mayor Pro Tem, yes.
I do believe this firm can give us accuracy and the information that we're requesting.
Prove to me their credentials. What do they have?
Financials and the administrative investigation end of this.
You keep saying and. I don't think you understand. Administrative investigation is what it's called. What are they investigating? Financial transaction. You can have administrative investigation on a number of topics. So stop doing and. It is an administrative investigation. That is the type of investigation. What are they investigating? Financial transactions. And there is nothing about this attorney, Google it, that shows that they have anybody in their practice that even do forensic financial audits. Why can't we find somebody qualified if we need to find somebody at all? You're real big on qualifications here.
I'm sorry.
You're real big on stuff being qualified. So why don't we find a firm that has some qualifications in financial transactions? Or why wouldn't you get a CPA? Why wouldn't you, let me ask you this. Why wouldn't you suggest that we get an accounting firm to do this investigation?
One reason that I suggested or that we move forward with this investigation was because we were not given an opportunity to get the information we needed from the DDA. So the best route for us to go to get that information was an investigation, which would not only look at numbers, but policy and procedure. Because
This ordinance doesn't say that.
Some concern.
This ordinance does not say, there you go again, trying to go out the, no, can you explain to her what administrative, go to our charter, because she apparently does not understand what an administrative investigation is. An administrative investigation is the type of investigation itself. Then you have to define what the administrative investigation is going to investigate. And your ordinance says it's going to investigate financial transaction. Clerk, would you pull up our things, because you're getting that confused. Administrative investigation doesn't mean if you want to look at administrative stuff, then you have to say to conduct an administrative investigation into the administrative wrongdoings, blah, blah, blah. You have to still say what it's about. Administrative investigation is what we name in the charter. Okay, so I heard what you just said. Even if you didn't get the information from the DDA, what makes you think an attorney could get it better than an entity whose sole purpose, qualifications, education, and experience is related to financial transactions?
I believe the attorney would have better success than this council had success getting information.
Do you believe that an audit firm would get better?
I'm sorry?
Do you believe that an audit firm would get better success than the attorney?
No.
Why?
I believe the attorney.
Attorneys don't scare me. They got the same thing that everybody else do.
And help us move
But y'all felt
forward.
comfortable with Plant Moran auditing 3 years. So here's the question.
Plant
You
Moran is
found,
doing a forensic audit for.
well, this
us
is
all.
forensic. Financial transactions to the degree that you can't understand the financial transactions and what's been provided for you, you need something real high up. Because y'all have trouble understanding, not y'all, but some of y'all have trouble understanding basic math. So I'm thinking this attorney, if it was administrative stuff, but let's go to the people that can help y'all understand this. Yeah, y'all.
Mayor, a quick question.
Yes, sir.
When was this ordinance presented to
To who?
the current investigator?
Oh, I don't know. Who submitted it to them?
Amazing, because it's not even filed with records yet.
Has it not been filed with the record?
It's not been filed with records.
Wait a minute. Watch how you talking. January. That's what I was going to say. We don't codify all the time. Has it been signed?
It has been
Wanted to go
submitted.
see this, which he had to ask our permission to give him this. How is he going to do it?
Well, I don't know. Mayor Pro Tem was the one who engaged him, so she should have been the one responsible. But let me also tell you about any
Mayor,
responsible. I have not acknowledged
I'm
you.
sorry.
Yes, you did. You want me to read the letter? You want me to read the letter that you sent to him? That you engaged him prior to the meeting? I can read it. Hold on
Mayor,
a second.
Mayor.
No, let's take a second.
Mayor,
because
I'll
we
be
gonna get
happy
all
to
the
read it
facts
in the
out
record
today.
myself if you would like me to.
Well, then read it.
I made a request
No, you didn't.
for an
Read
engagement.
it. Read it.
I
Read it.
cannot engage an attorney.
Oh, that letter
for the
sure indicated
council,
that you
and
did.
And they were not engaged until the council signed off on the engagement.
Then
letter.
your proper letter to them should have been phrased differently, and you should not have spoken saying that you represent the city of Jonesboro. At that time, you did not. It's simple. You should have just said, we are considering the engagement of an attorney. Would you be open? That is not what your first sentence said. Read it for us.
I don't have it with me. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
I'll find it for you. Can you find it for me? The letter, Attorney Dry, you can find it. So just to answer Councilman Dixon's question, we don't get ordinances codified until twice a year?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's common among some cities or entities don't do it for once a year.
Right, it's been submitted, so they have it. It's just be codified January.
So it still should have been forwarded had he asked for it, which he was.
Well, he asked for it Friday night at 10 o'clock at night, and I was gone from here, and I didn't have it, so I suggested that you provide it. To me, any reliable attorney, for all that I have spoken to, you don't engage without the ordinance. You know that there's an ordinance, so the burden is on him to look at, first of all, if he was really concerned, he should have been listening to the council meeting on the day that he was supposed to be approved, so apparently he didn't do that. But I think it all has to do a lot with the conversations that he had been having with Mayor Pro Tem prior. But we're still at this point.
Mayor,
Mayor Pro Tem, yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
I said, yes, go ahead.
I had one conversation with Halby Smith prior to the engagement letter being sent to the entire council, and that was to request their services for a letter of engagement. That was the extent of that conversation. As I stated before, I was told, we don't need details as you are a potential witness. let us forward the letter, let your council consider us as, for this position. So therefore, no, I did not, and I could not engage this firm on my own. They were not engaged until the council signed off.
Okay, well, I'll
on
read
the
the letter into the record, but you're almost right, which is why the attorney should have waited for the ordinance or asked for the ordinance. Because yes, you go into an engagement abroad, but then the ordinance provides the clear direction. But that's been the problem that we've had even for the forensic audit. That's been the problem that we've had for everything. You all don't like to have scopes. Y'all like to just throw a whole net out there and just see what somebody can catch on me. And that's problematic. We've been doing this for 2 years. We did this 2.5 years ago when we spent $250-some thousand because you all would not come up with something very specific, and then Tracy Lawson went on a rampage. Same thing you all, do y'all realize we paid Plant Moran $30-some thousand to go help us find a scope? We paid them money to interview y'all so y'all could tell them in private what y'all thought was going on for them to investigate. Because originally when we hired them, they just said, go look at some wrongdoing. It wasn't until after the firm interviewed with each of you all, and y'all could, behind closed doors, talk about what you think the mayor did. Like, y'all still talking about health insurance. And why are we still paying people to look into health insurance? I don't know how clear I can be. I have not reimbursed, like, what are y'all doing? Other than spending city pay people's money. Okay, so this is what we have. I'm hearing that there is still a desire to investigate all financial transactions occurring from, to, and between the City of Jonesboro and the Downtown Development Authority from the fiscal year 2025, January 1st to ending 2022, 2025. So I'm gonna ask you this, because this could save us almost like $50,000. Would you all like to have a special call meeting with Maria, with all the documents spread out, some calculators, and y'all can see that and any question, because it's not that, you can figure that out. I mean, we also have an interim report that's still interim, and I got some concerns about that, but he clearly said, related to Juneteenth, there was no file done. And, I can't get the number right, Maria knows it, there was $984 residual or surplus left from that. So one attorney already did that. So y'all want to pay another attorney to do it again? Now, I still got to go through that report with my attorney because there's some erroneous information in there before it's presented or approved, because that was an administrative investigation, and pursuant to our charter, I'm eligible to do an investigative hearing following before it's presented. And I know they waived the right, but that shouldn't have been any further than us. All right, Mayor Pro Tem, what do you want to do?
I want to follow through with the investigation with a modified, I spoke with Mr. Dreyer before our meeting tonight about considering changing speaking with them about the letter of engagement.
Okay, so tell us what you want a law firm to investigate.
What I would like them
Microphone.
to follow, I would like them to follow the ordinance that was passed by this council, Mayor.
Okay, so you want the investigator to conduct an administrative investigation into all financial transactions occurring from, to, and between the City of Jonesboro and the Downtown Development Authority for 2025, beginning January 1st to October 22nd. Y'all want a third investigation, and you want an attorney, not a CPA, to do the firm. So I'm gonna go and tell you now, I'm gonna question their findings when they come back, because I'm gonna consider it not to be suitable and just because they have no financial practices. I mean, I looked on the website. Unless you can show me a resume where they got somebody in their firm familiar with financial and accounting practices, why would we have somebody unqualified do this? Let's get it done, but let's get it done by an entity. Attorney Dreyer, who typically does investigations of financial nature?
I'm just gonna remind everybody about any conflict with any investigations, but it is a forensic auditing firm.
And those are typically CPAs or accounting firms?
Yes.
Okay, and so if we're gonna spend money, taxpayers' money, then I feel like we need to spend it on the most qualified entity to do it. And that will cut down on any type of appeals, additional public hearing, investigations, and everything. They're just not qualified. They're attorneys. They argue law. Anything to say? I mean, I'm okay with the investigation because I don't see that's going to be stopped, unless y'all want to table it to next year.
Mayor, Mayor Sarda, we still have a motion on the floor to permanently halt the investigation by attorney.
No, I said I would entertain a motion.
Entertain,
Nobody
okay.
did it. I just said I would entertain a motion,
Okay.
so nobody confirmed it. Yes.
Hi, everybody. Hi, council. Sorry I was late. I know the largest amount of money, from my understanding, that's been spent between Jonesboro and the DDA was on Juneteenth. Is that a factual statement, or was more money spent, more than the $50,000 spent during Juneteenth, spent with the DDA in 2025?
The bulk of the spending, I would probably say, was related to downtown, other than just regular expenses. I think Maria can help. I think there was some expenses. And so here's the other thing. This ordinance, and not to cut you off, but I thought of something. We shouldn't be concerned about matters of the DDA to a certain degree of financial. So they're just wanting to look at the financial transactions occurring from, to, and between the city of Jonesboro. There's only like 7 of them. How many transactions is it, Maria? Between maybe 10? Is some related to DDA? Outside of the DDA, outside of Juneteenth, were there any other financial changes? She can look and see. So the ordinance just talks about financial transactions between the DDA and the city of Jonesboro. And so those transactions are limited, maybe 10, which is why I said we can bring them forth before council. I trust that council has enough wherewithal to look at it and be like, oh, okay, that's where it is. And then if you got questions, then we can discuss that as well. But we already owe this man some money too, I think. I don't know if we can rightfully pay him, but. So do you understand what I'm saying? So it says to and from. There were some transactions made regarding, Maria's saying 7 or 8. It might be a little less than that, because I don't think beyond that there were any. No, except for the credit card reimbursements. Can you come to the microphone, Maria?
There were some wire transfers done from the city into the DDA account. They just did transfer of funds for some deposit payments that were made electronically that the DDA could not receive. That was sponsorship money. Also, the firework payments that were initially made from the DDA account have been put back into the DDA's account from the city. There was one instance of a DDA check that was mailed out for something totally different, non-related, in that time frame. And also the city received an electronic transfer too. So I had to void my check. It was just easier, and then pay the city back because it should have been DDA. But other than there were just a few. It's just a handful. It's not a lot, and it was really just bookkeeping.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason I was asking that, I believe the majority of council, Councilman Lester, Councilman Dixon, and myself, that was at this Councilman Dixon. But we were there when they read the interim report that found that the processes can be cleaned up. Processes were not followed appropriately, but there was no wrongdoing, no harm, no foul. And if Juneteenth spent the most money, I'm having trouble funding someone to look from January until June if we didn't spend any money with the DDA during that time. Like if the bulk of our concern was this $50,000 event, and if it doesn't equate to even half of that during the year, doesn't make sense for us to continue on with that. Am I making sense?
No, it definitely makes sense. And because the ordinance says the transactions between the two, and we're only looking at 8 transactions. And so 2 things we can do, council. We can continue, we can suspend the thing. I can have a special call meeting, or we can make it into January and allow Maria to provide for us a true list of transactions to, from, and between the city of Jonesboro, and allow you all to look at that and see if there's any discrepancies. Some of this we have to do. I mean, you all have to, I mean collectively. Because every time there's a question or concern, we can't run out and get an audit. Like, that's not responsible. And also, if you all are going to look at this, I'm concerned about why you're just looking at January, because I think you all want to look at Juneteenth. But there are other events. There's the Kentucky Derby. There was the St. Patrick's Day. There was a concert. Like, there are other things. Like, y'all just want to spotlight Juneteenth. That's kind of, was it the flyover that pissed you off?
I'm sorry,
At what point did y'all get upset? The flyover?
the vital.
The flyover. Oh, you didn't come, so you don't know how nice it was.
I was at GMA.
GMA, okay. So what part, so what part upset y'all the most that y'all want to dig down into a Juneteenth celebration? I speculate it was the flower. Well, you can sit down, Maria.
Thank you.
It might have been the stilt dancers, but it's very, I'm gonna say it's very discriminatory. Because didn't nobody question St. Patrick's Day?
Mayor,
They spent some money.
Mayor.
Didn't nobody question, what's that other thing? The ice cream social, the spring fling, things that we have been done traditionally. But the one year we have a grand old Juneteenth celebration, we want to nitpick and make stuff.
Mayor.
We call that Big Mad.
So the
Next year y'all gonna be bigger, because Juneteenth gonna be bigger.
The investigation that we called for was from January through October.
Why did
of
you
this
specify
year.
those dates?
Huh.
Why were those dates
Because
specified?
we are trying to see if things are going in the order that they were, mainly because you brought it up at the meeting.
No, I didn't.
You said the same thing that you just said. You said, y'all didn't look at St. Patrick's Day, y'all didn't look at this.
St. Patrick's Day was last year, so let's go back. If we're gonna do something, let's go back a whole year.
So what we're trying to do is get things in order.
But you can't
see
get-
where the mistakes have been made so that they can be corrected.
You don't get
Move
things in order
forward.
arbitrarily by date. If you want to get things in order, you got to go back and look at historical data, hence why I asked for the forensic audit to go back an entire year. So if you want to see what's really been done and get a true thing, you need to go back about a year and a half.
So are you proposing that we get this attorney to investigate a
No,
year and a half?
so let
back into
me
it?
go over again. First, I propose for the record that we don't use an attorney because he's not qualified to do a financial audit. So we can start there. I'm not proposing that we use this attorney for anything, not this one. But if you want to investigate something, be very clear on your investigations. And you all have trouble doing that. So we just told you that it's 8 transactions. You mean to tell me as a collective body, we can't review 8 transactions and determine whether it was done right? But you're gonna get an attorney? Some of us probably got more accounting practices than this attorney. It's 8 transactions, y'all. Why will you not halt this, allow Maria to bring the transactions forth, just like we do, and look at it? And if you got any questions like, where's the supporting document for this paper? You know, y'all, we need to save money. And it's like, y'all don't want to.
Mayor,
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem.
I speak for myself, but I'm sure the rest of the council agree. We do indeed want to save money, but sometimes you have to look at the longer picture and stop practices that maybe are not prudent so that in the long run, the mishandling of money doesn't continue.
So there was
And then
no
we have a
mishandling, so
clear
there was
line
no mishandling of money. So get your words straight. There was no mishandling of money.
So we.
That's very accusatory.
That is what this investigation.
So you are accusing mishandling of money?
I am asking for this investigator to see how the money was handled. Yes, Mayor, I am.
Okay, well then let's go back 2 years then and look. Because it's been a lot of transactions. But if you, listen to what you said, you want to look at how money was mishandled, get an audit firm to do it, not an attorney that has no, well then let's call Plant Moran and tell them to extend it. They're already doing the work. Let's just give them those 8 transactions. All you are concerned about is what happened to, from, and between the city of Jonesboro and DDA. Does everybody understand that? We just said that there were 8 items that fit under that category. Roughly 8. It might be even less. Let us provide those. Some of this work you can do, Mayor. I mean, you run a business. You can look at it and just say, hey, this right here, this is where it's messed up. This is where it's mishandled. And then we narrow the scope even more. Let's give them the discrepancy. Let's not That's how you save money. Look at it yourself and say, you know what? I got a question that the city gave the DDA $25,000 and I don't know why, and they weren't supposed to. And then one or two things can happen. I can give you the documentation, or I can give you not give you the documentation, and then you can do a forensic audit, or you'll have a true allegation. I allege that a $25,000 deposit was sent over to the Downtown Development Authority, and there is no documentation to substantiate that deposit. And then they look at that. So why can't we just do that? That's too much work for y'all? It's only 8 transactions. And Maria, I can tell you, Maria has documentation for each of those 8 transactions. Why won't y'all just review it?
Why was it $88,000 for those special events?
Why was it what?
88,000 the total,
What special events? What you talking about?
Juneteenth and July 4th.
I've never heard that number.
Came to 88,000.
Let me see. 54,000 plus 28,000. Is that roughly? Y'all help me. Let me get my calculator. 4th of July was 28,000, roughly. This is off the top of my head. Does that sound right? Anybody? Okay. And Juneteenth, roughly, is 54,000. So 82,000 maybe?
88.
Do you have those numbers? Or where are they?
Ask financial director. That's what she's got showing.
Okay. Well, we probably spent $88,000. Well, so let me just say this. Some of that money was not spent by the city. It was spent by the DDA. Maybe so. But no, because that's a deposit coming in. That's a revenue coming in.
Mayor, I think some of the other questions that we have, at least I do, is that the DDA is receiving these funds for properties that are owned by the city. It's my understanding that the city is not eligible to own property. But the city owns Nuvo. But Nuvo sends their check to the DDA.
Okay, you know what? This is this is ridiculous. Okay, so y'all want to do an audit for that? Or you want me to explain it to you?
Well, explain it. I can't figure out if we're not allowed to own the property.
Well, we own this. We own that property. The city can own property. Attorney Dreyer, can the city? Okay, well, here again, if the city been owning property. So if the city ain't been owning property, you done sat here for 4 years and didn't tell us that we were out and you were attorney. Because we ain't bought no new property.
No, I was always told that they did not own it. And then when I started looking, it pulled up. The city owns where Nuvo is, and there are several other places that the city owns. But yet the money comes in and goes to DDA.
And then DDA sends us a check for the rent every year.
Well, you already own the property, so why is it going to DDA?
Oh, I don't know. That was set up before I got here.
Well, this is something that needs to be investigated.
No, it doesn't have to be investigated. It can just be looked into. Huh? That's what I'm saying. Nuvo was purchased before, so now you got to open up your scope beyond January 1st, 2025, because we acquired Nuvo long before I became mayor. When was Nuvo? When was the debt service? But now we just fishing. Just fishing. Fishing. When was it? 2019. Okay. So now we got to open up this because Councilman Dixon wants to look at fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2019 up until October. Because now he wants to find out who owns and why we own and all of that stuff. So let's add about 3 more years to this. Y'all want to take a recess? I entertain a motion for a recess. Gather your thoughts.
Who need a recess?
Who?
Who needs a recess?
Well, I don't know. They kind of looking like they might want one. Like we don't have a motion. Okay. Next on the agenda.
Item E, council to consider approval.
Can I stop discussion at some point? I forgot how that works. No, go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem want to say something else, go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem.
I couldn't hear what she said.
Go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you very much. So, concerning our investigation, I would like the council to consider a motion to ask Mr. Dryer to contact Mr. Freitas and have the letter of engagement modified to be more in line with the ordinance that it is, that dictates its existence.
Second.
Discussion, Attorney Dryer, I don't know if you can act on behalf of the city can you act on behalf of the city for that? So now we're gonna tell, y'all still stuck on an attorney doing a financial audit. Like, that is so irresponsible. I mean, like, horribly irresponsible. Like, bipartisan irresponsible. Like, to have an attorney. So now don't y'all say nothing when I call a plumber up here to fix our roof. Y'all, that's just irresponsible. This is what you call, comical.
Mayor.
Yes.
Y'all know my stance on the investigation if he's out of line, but if we are gonna modify and continue going, if that's gonna be the will of the council, can there at least be some sort of a cap on the investigation, or at least a dollar amount that he can't go over until he comes back to us to see if he needs to continue doing that? Because the thought that it could be $50,000 is a little unsettling to me, and that's as much as our contingency fund is. So if we could just so we can have checks, and he can maybe check in when he's at a certain amount and see if we have the understanding that we need before he continues to the next $10,000 mark. If that could be something that we could discuss.
And I also think we should discuss finding another attorney if we're gonna use an attorney, because this attorney has already indulged in, and I should go get the bills. Ms. Kennedy, do you have that bill that I gave, that you came and got for me? Do you have it on hand or it's upstairs? Thank you. But so you already have a tainted attorney that's looked into. I want to read what he's looked into. And you all want to continue to use him? If you don't know him, then let's find, at this point, I feel like it can't even be unbiased toward anybody or toward the financial system. One, you can't do it because you have no qualifications. I'm asking you to please submit before me anything that firm has that they know are qualified to investigate financial transactions. You cannot. Take a few seconds and Google. There is nothing about Hall, Booth, and Smith that indicates that they are qualified to look into finances. They're an attorney. They specialize in wrongful deaths, of which they're being sued for. What are they, Mayor Pro Tem, what do they specialize in?
I'm sorry, repeat.
What does Hall, Booth, and Smith specialize in?
They're attorneys. The one that is doing our investigation is an investigative attorney.
When is the last time he's ever investigated a municipal government?
From my understanding, that is his specialty, is government.
But do you know when the last time that that's like, I'm not gonna hire a landscaping company unless I know the last time they cut grass. I'm not gonna hire a plumber unless the last time I know they installed a toilet. What I'm saying is that he has no experience in doing municipal investigations related to financing, unless you can show me otherwise. I have not been able to find it.
I would have to do some research to see.
Okay, so for the sake of the taxpayers' money, why are y'all in such a hurry to get this done?
I'm sorry?
Why are y'all in such a hurry to get this done?
Trying to get things wrapped up and cleaned up going into the new year. It's simple. Plus, we need to know-
But he already said that this could take, so he's not gonna get this done by the end of the year.
But what we're trying to do is have him focus on the scope of the ordinance, which will considerably trim up a lot of money and a lot of his time of things that he doesn't need to look into unless you do want it expanded to include other years. as
Well, I
you
was just saying,
stated.
Councilman Dixon brought that up, so I don't want to leave no stone unturned. I don't want nobody leaving council feeling that they didn't know that we own property. And for the record, Councilman Dixon, Don Dixon, cities are entitled to own property. I don't know where you got that from. I don't know what GMA class told you that. but cities can own property. Who you think own this building we sitting in right now? We do. Who owns that lot out there? We do. Cities can, and that's what I mean by, we gotta make choices based on knowledge, and if we still thinking that cities can't own property, then we shouldn't even be making decisions about stuff like this. We don't know the basics. I don't know, where would y'all get that from? Cities can't own property. So who owned this one? So this will still cause an investigation to go forth. So we ain't even saving no money there. So there's a motion on the floor. Attorney Dreyer, what are you gonna ask the attorney to look into? I want it to be so specific. And right now, we don't know the number of transactions. And Maria can find that. So once Maria finds the number of transactions, I feel like we should have an ordinance prepared that clearly outlines the number of transactions so that he is not going, this gentleman needs some scope.
I mean, I'll say that he did say the investigation would be $50,000 to $100,000.
Well, that was the big investigation that he had.
Yeah, but it's.
And so, and let me just tell you about a
it's
little
not
bit
gonna
about the
change.
integrity.
Yeah.
So this person, even with the larger scope, he spent money on begin review of articles and other information available through various news outlets regarding alleged allegations of impropriety. What would that ever have to do with an investigation? Continued review of articles and other information available through various news outlets regarding alleged allegations of impropriety. Online research in order to gather details from Danya Sarter from social media resources. Online research in order to gather details from Danya Sarter from news and media articles. Preparation, it was $350, of a memorandum related to information found from prior online research of Danya Sarter. He also charged us to find Santia Fox's contact information. We could have just provided that for her. The former city, they're looking into the health insurance. Review detailed social media findings on mayor. What type of attorney gonna spend time reviewing detailed social media findings? So they searching my internet, my media, my social media, and that's what we're spending money on. And that's who we want to continue to engage in finances. And he is yet to explain that. I feel like he should explain to us why we have to pay him to look at my social media. Why I have to pay him to look at what news report says about, like, what purpose does that have to do with anything? But this is the type of attorney that you want to look into 8 financial transactions. An ordinance cannot be prepared tonight because no vote can be taken tonight because this was an item added to the agenda, and I am not in the majority, I'm not in the unanimous vote for it to be voted on tonight.
What, Mayor?
This item was added to the agenda. Items can be added to the agenda by majority vote, but items can only be voted on by unanimous vote. I do not consent to voting for this particular item. Next on the agenda. It's the law. It's the
Mayor,
law.
for a personal point of privilege.
It's
with
chess,
us-
not checkers. Play it wisely.
With us trying to cooperate, Mayor, with us.
This
trying-
ain't cooperating, getting an attorney to look at something that don't even have financial expertise. Next on the agenda.
Letter E, council to consider approval of a renewal contract between Luminary Media Works and the city of Jonesboro, Georgia for IT services.
Is Tran here? If he has not, he will add a subsequent contract. I wanted that to run separate in case the meetings, and we will allocate a certain amount of funding, and he's gonna give us a rate to make sure that 10 meetings for the year. Are you listening, Councilman Dixon? That up to 10 meetings per year will be live streamed. We just have to get with him on that, and the city will cover it. So we have to spell out the logistics, but we will make sure that as long as they're not doing 50 hours of live streaming, Councilman Dixon. Are you okay with that? But we will make sure, we began talking about it, and so we will make sure that it's covered.
Yes, thank you so much. And I have JYCG member Mackenzie Newlove, the Director of Communications out there, and she's excited about this partnership as well, so thank you.
And we actually talked about maybe finding a Jonesboro Youth City Government person that can assist and maybe be trained. Oh, so that'll be you, Mackenzie?
Yes,
Okay, well, he's excited about that.
thank you.
You're welcome. New business.
Letter A, council to consider a resolution regarding a budget transfer of $8,000 from office supplies line item to special events line item in order to cover the cost of Christmas events at the city center.
Let me elaborate on this. This is not Christmas events. We like to go back to what we've done before by providing a $100 bonus to all full-time staff and $50 for all reserve and part-time staff members, as well as our traditional Christmas party. So I asked her to look and see where there was some funding that could be moved over. We're planning if you all know, and especially council members that have attended, that's something that our staff really looks forward to. Last year we got jackets. When did y'all didn't get the money last year? Was it last year or the year before that? Year before. So, but again, that'll be $100 per full-time staff and $50 for part-time and reserve officers. I want to make sure our reserve officers receive something as well. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Letter-
Council to discuss fiscal year special initiative funds. I forgot, what is that one about?
Oh, this was for, I think Councilmember Don Dixon, had
Did you-
some
did you-
items.
Okay, and I won't call it out, but council, I just want you to know that special initiative funds, we're allocated $1,000 each year. That can't be used to give to individual peoples or persons. That's against the gratuitous clause. So you can use it for something, but every citizen or a group or organization have to have access to that event. Any questions on that? All right, that's all we need for that. Item C.
Discussion regarding downtown development interim report.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Oh, I'm sorry. Item C, correct. So I wanted to see if we could get discussion of the report from the DDA, and if we could have our chairwoman of our DDA come forward and share the information from the meeting Thursday night.
So the information will be from a report that is still listed as interim, and my attorney has not reviewed it, and so any disclosures in a public forum may jeopardize any type of future litigation. So we should have all that information prepared and ready for January.
So can she come forward and share what is allowed to be shared?
Well, nothing in that report can be shared at this particular time.
So nothing from.
I mean, it can be, but it's gonna mess up because I'm entitled to, so pursuant to the charter, anytime there's an administrative investigation, I'm entitled to administrative hearing. So a hearing means I can dispute anything that's within it, and then certain things will be called into question, so it's like you don't release your witnesses. It can wait till January. Next on the agenda. Economic Development Report, Faith Akuta. You want to step out? No, if you keep talking, you will be. She can leave, Councilman. She'll voluntarily leave. No, you are. But she in charge. All right, next.
Good evening, Mayor and Council,
Thank
and
you.
citizens of Jonesboro. During the month of November, the city welcomed 7 new businesses, and
Well, excuse me, hold on a second. It's so disrespectful for people to talk while you're talking. And that is your next council person that will be seated up here. Go ahead.
Good evening. So during the month of November, the city welcomed 7 new businesses, and I also had the privilege to attend the statewide Historic Preservation Conference in Athens, Georgia, as well as the National League of Cities Conference in Salt Lake City, Utah. And this concludes my report, unless there are any questions.
Even if you don't know them off the top of your head, could we get a list of the businesses? I always like to know.
Yes,
the
I can
businesses that
provide
came.
them.
All right, thank you.
Had a question as well. and really just more so an update in regards to the dumpster situations for Broad Street.
That is still in the works. Yes, I have some conversations this week about that. I'm sorry, last week about that. So yes, it is ongoing.
Can I mention that? Can I talk, do you mind if I discuss
Oh,
that?
yeah, I don't-
So one of the things we were looking for funding, and we pulled all of our SPLOST referendums for 2008, 2015, and 2021. And there's funding left, I think it's like 29,000 left in 2008, and $100-some thousand left. And so the one that has $100,000 left in there, the ordinance, being the resolution specifically talks about Broad Street renovation, so we can pull funding from that. And so that was one of the things that we were looking for, who was gonna fund it. Because the Broad Street is quote-unquote a DDA property, we would have to go into an intergovernmental agreement so that we don't transfer no funds that we're not supposed to be transferring. But we were trying to find funding, so right now we're happy that there is some funding, so we're working on doing, Ms. Kennedy and I doing what we call a in-house SPLOST audit to make sure all debt service is met. We are trending very high with SPLOST this year as well as previous years, so the biggest obstacle was just funding to get it done correctly. And then working with the DDA the first of the year to see if they would be willing to allow us to pay for the dumpster.
Okay, so, and just thank you for that information too. So just like timeline purposes, like how soon can we expect, a restaurant there if they're waiting on the dumpsters?
So to my understanding, they're not necessarily waiting, they still have a number of things that they need to do before they get to the dumpster.
Correct. And speaking with some of the owners, some of them are still doing renovations as well.
So we're not, I just don't want it to be said that we're not holding up for the dumpster. Like you have like 3 or 4 quotes already, don't you? I think when Mr. Simpson left.
Mr. Simpson had a couple quotes.
Yeah, so we had some quotes, but it was just trying to find funding. And now that we know we have a little bit more funding, we're trying to just figure out creative ways. One of the things is not just sit in a dumpster there. We got to make sure that the truck can get in, that we don't have to reinforce the existing pavement for it. And then also thinking of a cost structure. How do we make sure that only those businesses that are paying into that? Because right now, all of our businesses are paying for their trash service through the city. Am I correct? And so because the city will not be picking up this trash, then we have to think of a structure. But financing was the biggest thing, and I think I told Marcus last week that we had the funding. Thank you so much. Council, do we need to go into executive session? Oh, it's not even on here. Yeah, let's get our reports out the way. We have 3 outgoing council members. If you all don't mind, I would like to let them give their reports last. So I'll start with Councilman Alfred Dixon.
It was good to see everyone this past weekend at the Christmas parade down on Main Street. Thank you to Arts Clayton and the City of Jonesboro for making sure that our residents had that experience. We really appreciate it. And I'll, keep it, short today. Just wanted to reiterate what I said earlier. Just thank you all and bless the village forever. Thank you.
Councilwoman Asia Miller.
As always, thank you to our staff, best staff in the land. Thank you to our city residents. I don't feel like I say that enough, so I appreciate you. We wouldn't be up here if it weren't for you guys. Congratulations to Councilman Alfred Dixon on graduating with his master's. I'd like to let the residents know that I'm having my 2nd annual holiday assistance program where we have families to come in and shop for their family if they need ages 1 through 13, let me specify. If they need any help with the holidays, we'll be here. We have hot cocoa and crafts and shopping. So register. I know it's definitely on our social media. I'm unsure if it's on our website, but it's definitely on our social media. So on my social media as well. And registration closes December 15th unless we're full before then. And that's when everyone will receive the date and time for them to come and shop. I'd like to say thank you to our council members, the ones who won't be returning next year. For those who don't know, we don't make big bucks up here. So if they're coming, if they're showing up, it's because they have a heart for the city, for their community, for service, for work. So I just appreciate you all coming and showing up. You didn't have to, right? And so thank you guys for that and for the love of your community. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Good evening, everyone. I want to just start off by saying Merry Christmas, because we may not see you before then. it's a very special time of year for so many people, just to remember the reason of the season. I appreciate Councilwoman Miller's efforts that she reaches out and does something so special for the community at this time. I have a project as well, and we have several families in need. Through our Christmas Scholar Program, my company Troublemakers partners with the city, and if you would like to assist us in providing a brighter Christmas for families, we have 17 children in need this season, and I would love to have you help us participate. We've set a deadline tentatively to have items collected by Monday of next week. Please email me, reach out to me if you would like to help in any way. We're going to need people to help put things in bags. We're gathering food. Some of our sweet children need this food over the next 2 weeks. Their main food is coming from school at lunchtime, so they're not at school for 2 weeks. So we want to be sure that they are provided for and that they have extra and that they can have a Merry Christmas too. So if this is something that interests you and touches your heart like it does mine, please reach out and let me know. And I just wish all of you have a Merry Christmas. I want to take just a moment, as this is our final regular council meeting with 3 of the gentlemen that will be leaving us this evening, to say what a privilege it's been to serve with them. All of them have been here, with the exception of one, longer than I, with many, many years of experience. And I appreciate their dedication, and I appreciate their service to this city and for everything that they've done over the years. And I just want to take a moment personally to thank them for what they've done and for serving.
Councilman Bobby Lester.
Good evening, everybody. It has been an interesting 8 years since the thing, where it's coming and going. I wish the incoming Cameron, I'll remember it in a minute. There was she left, yeah, Chelsea, and then Santia. Wish y'all all luck. Keep an open mind, because things are not as you see. And I wish you all luck. Our staff has always been professional and uplifting when we've needed it, and always been informative. That's it. I mean, like I say, I have enjoyed being, well, this guy. But, of course, now he's my neighbor, so I'm gonna have to tolerate him anyway. But, well, actually, both of them are my neighbors, you know,
Right.
so we'll see. But, thank you for everything, to the citizens of Jonesboro, the ones that are listening and that are actually living here. Thank you for the support over the years, and who knows, we might see you at another time. You know? So y'all have a good night.
Councilman Don Dixon.
Thank you, Mayor. I would just like to say thank you for everyone showing up. It has been very enlightening for the last 2 years and 9 months. Learned a lot of good things, a lot of bad things, but they'll equal out. I wish everyone a good Merry Christmas. Be safe out there. I don't know, it's getting wild out there with all the cars running around. But as for the rest, thanks, Bobby, you stole my speech.
Councilman Powell.
Yeah. I've been on the council 14 years and seen a lot and met a lot of good people and some not so good. But as a council and mayor over those 14 years, working together, we achieved a lot, a whole lot. Lee Street Park, this building, Novo, the green. A lot of good stuff has happened in 14 years, and it doesn't come easy. You have to work on it, and you have to plan. So, but I've enjoyed working here, and I enjoy living here. And I continue to live here, I hope. So if I can take the cold, because I do have invites from Florida. It's tempting sometimes. So, but anyway, I enjoyed it, and thank you very much for having me, everybody.
I want to just acknowledge staff for helping with the parade, Public Works, Code Enforcement, other staff members. I want to give a shout out to Shelby. She's not feeling well. Not sure if you got sick of the parade, but we were happy to bring the parade back with partnership with so many entities, and it was a great event, and so I want to appreciate that. The tree lighting was absolutely spectacular. Shout out to our entire team. We had our guest tree lighter, Andrew Simpson, that flew in to be with us, so that was pretty exciting. We've received a lot of feedback. I also want to shout out to Illuminary Works that works with us as our IT, but they also, I'm not sure if you know, but the parade it gave me real Macy's Day feel parade and the live streaming. So again, I applaud staff. It is a tremendous workload on that, and we always tend to come together. As we're having some council people leave out, my dad used to always say life is short, and every day I understand the impact of that. And I understand that this evening, sometimes it's too short to hold on to something. There's a quote that my mother used to always say, let the past stay where it belongs, behind you. There has been some hard discourse on this dais with all of my colleagues. And I refuse to believe that each one of us did not come from a place of good intent. And I believe that although we may have not always agreed on the same thing, I believe we all came from a place of what we felt was right. Do I wish we could have done things better, more respectfully, quieter, myself including? I definitely do. But I would hope as you gentlemen step down from here that we resort back to what we were before we became elected officials, and that's neighbors. I remember when Council Powell and I met years ago. He brought me eggs and cucumbers. I'm not sure if your garden is still growing, but I hope one day we'll do that again. Many of you all attended my son's college graduation. That's what neighbors are, and that's what families are. And I can tell you, when I step off this dais, everything that was said and done remains here, because indeed, life is short to carry anything beyond where they're supposed to be. So tonight, I hope we walk off of this leaving everything on the dais and returning back to where we first started, and that's as neighbors. I would be remiss if I didn't leave without saying I apologize for anything that would interfere with us moving forth as neighbors. That's my goal and that's my desire. I hope that you continue to enjoy living in the city of Jonesboro, continue to hold us accountable, and continue to be part of the community. At this time, this is my most favorite part. It's the opportunity for us to adjourn. And Councilman Powell, if you would stand up for me before we adjourn, I got a special gift for you.
Oh, Dad, go to sleep.
In the first Monday in January, you gotta wear this at home.
Let's make it official. A motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? We are now adjourned.
Now, one question. Who's gonna take over?
Oh, for motion to adjourn? I don't know. Let's just see who can get to it first in January. It'll never be the same as yours, though. Ever. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you.